Good afternoon, friends. This is an introduction to third, fourth, and fifth dimensional changes, those energetic shifts that we are going through. Have you noticed that things are changing? Have you noticed that things are shifting? Have you noticed changes in your body? And especially since 2012, there have been multiple changes and shifts going on. There's earth shifts and body shifts and DNA shifts and climate shifts and seismic shifts and dimensional shifts, and they're all going on within us, and we sense it. If we're sensitive, we sense it, we feel it, we know it. We know that something is happening, and we may not always understand it. We are in an evolutionary time, and one of my favorite mentors from the past century, Charles Fillmore, says, life is an ever-progressive upward spiral of conscious evolution. And so it is that we are in the midst of that. We are piercing that veil of illusion, and the luminous light of truth is coming forth, and the truth of who we are as those luminous beings, as truly beings that know and the sense and of who they are as the I am, call it the Christ, call it the Buddha, whatever you want. But people have asked me if I would just speak for a moment on the introduction to third and fourth dimension and fifth dimension and some of the signs and symptoms. And so I wanted to do that. I have a longer video. It's about 45 minutes, but this is the introduction. So let's start with third dimension. What are we experiencing as beings on this planet that are third dimensional beings and yet awake and moving through this process of spiritual soul ascension? I call it soul mastery. I call it the alchemy of transformation. I call it soul evolution, all of those things. So let us start. 3D holds embedded patterns. Embedded patterns of the adverse ego. It's kind of a playground for the adverse ego, and we're here to remember. And to me, that's the real purpose of why we're here. We are here to remember the truth of who we are, and we do that through ascending in consciousness. Ascending in consciousness. I'm a very grounded being. So when I talk about ascending in consciousness, when I talk about ascension, I'm talking about it from a very pragmatic state of this is an experience we are going through. So our adverse ego actually holds, you might call it our small self, holds beliefs and perceptions that have been passed down through generations. It holds competition. It holds guilt. It holds our family history. Oh, everybody in our family has had this, and this runs in our family. Alcoholism, heart disease, cancer, whatever it is. Those are all third dimensional perceptions. They've got perceptional Velcro that hold them in place. And they create limited structures of knowing that we literally live our life through, but we do it unconsciously. We don't know. And what we know is that the law of attraction, the law, cause and effect, it works. The law works. The question is, at what level are we working the law? So third dimensional would be working it from the sense of still being in competition and greed and jealousy and anger and fear, but most of all fear. Everything that surrounds third dimension holds a lot of fear. And we believe that we want to change, but we also believe we don't have a lot of choice in it. Well, this is the family I was born into. Yes, but you were born into it for a reason. You were born into it to grow, to change, for them to be truly your teachers. And that's how we can end up forgiving people, when we can see, oh, I came here to have this family so that I could learn the lessons I needed, so that I could awake and ascend in consciousness. Okay, so let's talk about fourth dimension. Charles Fillmore says of the fourth dimension that the invisible realm is real and tangible to my mind and feelings now. The invisible realm is real and tangible to my mind and feelings now. And he also says that the fourth dimension is a bridge. It's a bridge between the third dimension and the fifth dimension. And Jesus ascended into the fifth dimensions and higher. Well, we're not going to worry about those higher dimensions. Let's just worry about moving it into the fourth and through to the fifth. So in fourth dimension, we start to wake up to what is. We start to wake up to what is. Oh, this is interesting. It's a place of paradox where we can know this and still sit in the unknown. It's the place that we start to dance at the edge of mystery. It's the place that we can begin to see, oh, isn't this interesting? Isn't this interesting that yesterday I believe this and today I believe that? Here we begin to awaken to deeper aspects and qualities that might be thought of as leaning towards feminine qualities, feminine nature of the divine that lives within us, such as compassion and generosity of spirit and connectivity and interdependence. And we need these things. They're part of what we have to get to grow into, mature, in order to cross the bridge. And as we start this movement in awakening these new qualities, we will automatically begin to dismantle those structures of knowing that have been so held in place in the third dimension. Is this easy? No. I'm giving you a quick overview, and believe me, it takes it takes third dimensional time to move through these things. It can happen in an instant. I want you to know that too. But what I do know is the master teacher Jesus gave us a blueprint for this journey. I call it the journey of the soul's evolution. It's not about religion. This is not about religion. This is just about a blueprint, a template of the different types of initiations and changes we will go through. And it's right there. It's right there in the Gospels for those who have eyes to see. And it really even shows us the alchemy of transformation that we will go through. The other thing in fourth dimension is we become very conscious of conscious choices and beginning to make conscious choices. Third dimension is, as I said, an egoic state, and we can begin to awaken in the third dimension that can pop us into fourth dimension to where we start to make more conscious choices around energy, vibration, and frequency, because they come alive here. Fifth dimension I'm going to just tap into because, as I said, this is all in the longer video. I just wanted to whet your appetite. So fifth dimension, from where I'm seeing it, having been on this path now for 40 years and moving in and out of the dimensions, being very clear. Fourth dimension, you start to open your third eye. Third eye starts to get activated. You start to see interdimensionally. You start to realize you're a multidimensional being. Fifth dimension, you really get, my mind is luminous and I perceive the luminosity of spirit everywhere. My mind is luminous and I perceive it, the luminosity of spirit everywhere, because fifth dimension is a dynamic, vibrant state of aliveness. And you know when you've tapped that. It's a state where conscious neutrality exists. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. You be that state. There's nothing, you don't fight for anything here. There's no fight here. There's no argue here. There's no resistance in fifth dimension. You won't be out marching if you're tapping into fifth dimension, because you will know there's a new way to do things. It's a higher level of understanding. In this dimension, you can read energy. Read energy. You come into a group of people or meet someone, you can read energy right away, just like it says in the blueprint. And Jesus read their hearts. That's what it meant. He was able to see. He can read the energy in the room, and you see the interdependence of all things. And you'll start to know that all things not created in truth, anything created from lies, controls, manipulations, you will see them immediately. You'll sense it. The cells of your being, because they're going through a structural change, become very sensitive to those things. We might say we become a little more empathic, but there comes a point when people talk about, I'm so empathic. It's just, that's ego. When becoming an empath makes you so sensitive, you can't sit around this and you can't be in electricity and you can't, that's a lot, many times that's a lot of ego being involved there, because in fifth dimension, you're just really light and things occur without argue. And because the mental and emotional bodies are cleared, they're cleared. You don't bring baggage into the fifth dimension. There's no baggage here. It's such a light body, such a light body. And that's, again, the blueprint, why Jesus couldn't stay. He could stay for a period of time, but he knew the vibration would be diminished if he stayed too long. So here we dream and know who we are, and we hold that vibration. The dominant vibration is remembered and lived. It's complex and it's simple. It's so simple. So in the longer version, I give you a little tool about how to hold the attention in the heart. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to give you this quick overview of third, fourth, and fifth dimensional energies. Have a great day, and may you vibrate at high levels. Have a great day.